Someone told you you were smart in 2019. You barely remember it. Someone called you lazy in 2019. You can still hear their voice. Both were opinions. Both came from people whose judgment you'd otherwise question. One evaporated in an hour. The other found a room in your head and moved in. You know, this isn't fair to the compliment. You know, in principle, that the person who called you lazy was probably having a bad week and forgot the sentence by dinner. It doesn't help. The sentence lives in you now, rent-free, still humming a decade later. And it's not just the big ones. A stranger's offhand comment about your laugh. A teacher's throwaway line about your handwriting. A boss's flat sure when you were expecting more. You can list them. You cannot list a single compliment you got that week. Here's the mechanism, and it's older than you think. Your brain was built by ancestors for whom being disliked by the group meant, quite literally, dying alone in the cold. So it evolved a rule. Negative social information is emergency information. Store it. Rehearse it. Never let it go until you've figured out how not to trigger it again. Compliments don't come with that alarm. A compliment says the situation is fine, and the brain has no reason to file a memory about the situation is fine. Praise is background noise. Criticism is a flare. Psychologists have a bland name for this, negativity bias, but the numbers behind it are strange. Roughly speaking, one criticism can require 5 compliments to feel emotionally even. 5. And most of us aren't getting 5 compliments for every criticism. Most of us are getting one of each and calling it a good day. Which means the tally in your head is not just biased, it's rigged. But here's where it gets weirder. Notice that the insults you can still hear. The specific ones. Usually name a thing you already suspected. That's the ones that stick. If someone told you tomorrow that you were 7 feet tall, you'd laugh. If someone told you that you were selfish, and some quiet part of you had been wondering that, the sentence would sink in for years. The insult doesn't install the fear. It confirms one you were already carrying. So what stays in you isn't really the other person's opinion. It's the moment you found out someone else could see the thing you hoped no one could see. The specific words are almost incidental. What you're actually remembering is the exposure, which is why compliments don't have the reverse effect. When someone says something kind that you already believed about yourself, you nod. You accept the packet and move on. But when someone says something kind that contradicts what you suspect about yourself, that you're generous or interesting or worth listening to, you don't file it. You question it. You look for the angle. Your brain trusts confirmation. It's suspicious of correction. So the insults that stayed aren't the harsh ones. They're the accurate ones. Accurate to a fear, not to a fact. And the compliments you can't hold on to aren't the small ones. They're the ones that would have to rewrite you, which is uncomfortable because it means the sentence you can't stop hearing from 2019 isn't really about the person who said it. It's a receipt for something you were already sure of, and you kept it all these years in case you needed to prove it. The question isn't why you can't let it go. It's what you've been using it as evidence for.